Hey you guys, what's up? This is your girl Taylor with Tuesday Talks with T, and this is the third episode, and I've managed to pull in some really amazing women onto this season. And today, to add to that, I have Miss Stacy.
Aww.
Thank you so much for coming.
Of course, I'm happy to be here.
Yes, this is a long time in the making right here. Like, we've been trying to get this going for a minute now, so I'm so glad to finally have you sit in a chair.
Definitely. It's a great chair. I'm going to take this. It's cute.
Yes. So first off, I really want to know, how did you coin the name One Take Stace? Where did that come from?
Oh, wow. Great question. So I was in college. I'm sitting in a National Association of Black Journalists meeting with a couple of really great friends that I'm friends with to this day. And we're all talking about social media. Mind you, at this time, I hated social media. And I was like, I'm not getting a Twitter. I'm not getting this. Forget it. Whatever. I had a trash phone. I'm like, ugh, it's not for me. So I remember when my friend goes, well, if you make a Twitter, I'll come up with your name for you. And I was like, well, the name's got to be amazing. And he was like, well, you're always on the news and you're always killing it. And honestly, you always do it in one take. Like, your one take stays. And the entire room stopped. And he was like, what? And we're like, start an account. So and literally he gets the first check. Cause that's my boy.
Girl.
Sean and Jared, love you. Great friends. Level. Yeah, they're amazing. And so it's cool because it started with just a social handle and now it's a brand. And it's weird because you're like, is that me? You know, because everybody's a couple different people. So I'm One Take Stace some days, and some days I'm Stacy Ike, and some days you don't even have a name. I'm sweatpants. You know, it's just right. So everyone's got so many facets of themselves. So it's really cool because One Take Stace is like a brand, and it's me, and it's such an important version of who I am. So it's cool. It's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So can you paint a picture of what it was like for you growing up in Houston, Texas?
So Houston's great. It's a really diverse town. I mean, it's Houston, it's one of the largest cities in America, and it's just interesting because I think I moved around a little bit from, before I was in high school. And so I had a little different versions of Houston. And it was cool because by the time I got to high school, that's when I kind of started falling in love with journalism and started seeing it as a real thing. At first, it was just this cutesy thing. You know how high school is. You get into sports, you get into activities, you get into all this stuff. And I'm tall, so I was shoved into a lot of sports, but you can't actually play. Oh, I did all of them, but I sucked. So I was like, what's happening? And so some of my teachers were like, get in the arts. And I'm like, what? And so I got into choir and I got into broadcasting, and I'm like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be. And so it was really funny because I quit basketball after a year. I'm like, oh, okay, bye. Ran track a little bit, but those are all things those were fun, but broadcasting and choir and that version of art was definitely more me. And so I'm the oldest of 5. I have 4 younger siblings, all geniuses, all very brilliant human beings. 2 really dope parents that are learning so much more about this industry the more I show them about this industry, because there was definitely a time they were like, I'm confused. You want to talk for a living? I don't get it. But I kept bringing home red slips. So I'm like, this might be a career. We need to figure this out. So, no one knew that until college. So that's good. But I'm proud of them for being open to what I chose to do, because it is a little tough sometimes when you decide, hey, I'm going to go far from home. I'm going to go out of state for college, and I'm going to just go try this Hollywood thing. And I have no way to show that it could work out, but let's do it, thanks Jesus. And so they were down, and it's cool. Really great supportive family. Hopefully I get to go back soon though. Yeah.
So you go to college, you study broadcast journalism.
Yeah.
Now you graduate. What is your first job that you got in the journalism field after you graduated?
That's a really loaded question. Because I didn't apply for any journalism jobs. I moved to Australia instead. I was like, you know what? Chunk the deuce. I'm out. I want to figure out this entertainment version of myself that was kind of hidden, because I went to a very amazing journalism school, but it was very news, oriented. And so there wasn't a lot of entertainment, and I didn't really know what that looked like. I didn't know what celebrity interviews look like. I didn't know if that was a full career. I mean, I just didn't know I didn't know if it was career possible for me. So I moved to Australia, and I was like, okay, I'm going to act, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and it's going to be great, and whatever. And so I did that, and I took a few classes there for school as well, and it was really wonderful. But Australia is a different type of industry. It's a little bit slower. And so I didn't get to find as many jobs there as I wanted. So after taking a couple acting classes and doing a couple internships, I came back, and I'm at home for a couple months, and I go back to retail because I'm like, all right, well, I love clothes. Wow. Let's figure out what retail looks like for now. I knew it wasn't permanent, but I was like, you need money, and what are you going to do for a couple months? So I did that for a while, and it's just crazy because that job was such a blessing because it kind of kept me going, but everyone knew that it was, everybody around me knew. They're like, what's going on? What is it that you need to be doing so we can get you back to where Stacy Ike actually is? And like when people started saying, especially my parents, they'd be like, what's going on? Like, when do we get you back to happy? And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
am I really that horrible? You know, because I was just like, wasn't where I wanted to be. And so you're never really where you really want to be, but you need to be working towards that, whatever that looks like. And so I wasn't at the time. And so anyway, I came to LA for a week and just decided to like go to different like businesses and hang out with some of my friends and meet different people. And I came back and I was like, all right, so I'm going to move to LA. Like, that's what it is. I'd already interned here, so I knew the taste a little bit, but that kind of like propelled me to do that. And so I came home, I quit. My boss was like, hey, you kind of quit in the middle of Christmas season. Can you stay?
Yeah, the retail stores,
it's
really,
real.
Yeah,
it's
no,
real. So I tried to
worked
quit in December. He was like, don't you dare.
Uh-huh.
So I left in January. And he's still like one of the, he's still bomb. So I left in January and I still hadn't had that official first journalism job. And so I came here, not sure what I was going to do, no real job. Thought I had like an in somewhere. And that as soon as I got here, they're like, hey, we just switched management. I go, oh, that's perfect. I just packed my bags and moved here. And it's a one-way flight. So that's great. Call me when you need me. So that was interesting. Got the restaurant job, got the host job, slept on the couch, did the whole like, you know, really cheap apartment thing. I mean, it was a grind. It wasn't even like my first, I can't even tell you. I guess my first journalism job was Dish Nation with Ricky Smiley and Head Crack, and like I love that show and I love what it taught me. It taught me like it was kind of my first TV in to see what it looks like. And I wasn't actually like doing on air stuff. I was there hired to be a logger, and so you're still kind of like not where you want to be. But you're in a room. You're in a room. So they let me do a couple red carpets, and I got more taste there. And you know, one thing trickled down to another, and God did His thing. But it took a minute before I like, because I was too nervous to like make a wrong move. I didn't want to go and do news when I knew that's not what I wanted. I didn't want to test it out. A lot of my friends were like, well, I'll just do news for a couple years and then I'll do this. And everyone has their own path, so I get it. But I just like avoided it. I was like, I'm just going to be broke. I'm just going to like not do that.
You sacrifice.
I don't know what I was thinking. It worked out, thank you, Lord Jesus. But I was like, you know, and I always say I chose brilliance over broke. Or I chose brokenness to get to my brilliance. Like I always kind of say that because I'm like, that's what it was. I was just like, I'm just going to see if this path is a real path that I can have. And you can have that. It just takes a lot of grinding.
Girl, you better preach.
Jesus,
Yes.
take the wheel on that,
Yes.
right? Goodness
Now,
gracious.
I want to move on to your spirituality and you being invested in God. Now, what struck me the most about you during the panel of the Media Girls LA event was that you were not afraid to give any kind of honor to God in your footsteps and going to the next level. Like you were really, really, really profound in speaking about God, and that's what really resonated with me.
Thank you.
And the yellow outfit was just so bomb. Like the yellow outfit looks so bomb. I know I commented you a million times, but it was
You're
just
awesome.
too fire. Like
Thank
I kept
you.
telling my friend, I was like, she looks so fire in that outfit.
Thank you. Oh my
Now,
gosh, thank you.
I wanted to ask you because in entertainment, it's really hard to find a lot of people who are so public with God and His power and what He does for them and being like expressive about it. So where did that confidence come from you? Because I know a lot of people who aren't outward with their faith in God
Really?
and like kind of keep it to themselves and don't feel like, because everybody has something to say like about your belief system. So how did you find the confidence in not being afraid to glorify God's name in anything that you do?
God, that's like, it's hard because I want to say, did I really find the confidence or do I have no other choice? I don't have I don't understand. I didn't do this by myself. So like, who am I going to give the glory to? Myself? Lies. That would be a lie. And like my whole brand and who I am as a person is to show that like you can't do this by yourself, and like we need each other and we've got to support each other. And the only person that taught me that was God. So like if I'm telling you a story but I don't tell you the full story, then I did not only myself a disservice, but I did you a disservice. So for me it's hard because I do have a lot of friends say like, girl, it's crazy how much you love Jesus or you talk about him. I'm like, is it? I don't understand. I was raised in the church. My parents have been in the church my whole life. You know, I have my whole moments where you got to find God on your own because your parents, they're not there with you in college and this and that. You know what I mean? Like, they don't live here with me now. So it's like I had to decide on my own how much I was trying to do this with God. And I was like, oh, I'm trying to do this a lot. Like, I don't
and
have.
And then when you try to do it without him,
it's like it isn't.
The outcome.
It's not cute. Your makeup doesn't even mix when that happens. Okay, like you look bad. Your lashes are off. Like it's real, $1 really just $1. Like it's like. So for me, I really don't have a choice, and I'm not from LA, so I don't know if that might have anything to do with it. I do have LA friends that are definitely out word about it, so I know the industry sometimes can cloud that, but I don't know. I just like I know how I got here, and I really want to tell people how I got here. So, and that includes God. So it's like for me, it's a no-brainer. But I do understand that it's not that easy for some people, and I know that there are a lot of backlash sometimes, and that's hard. And I've definitely like not gotten to that point, but I do see sometimes, you know, the bigger you get or the more public you get, sometimes you do have to be a little bit more careful so you don't make anybody else feel uncomfortable. But the whole message of God is love. So for me, it's like, I just want to love on people. Like, that's the whole point. And like, I get to do that through what he did to me. So cool. That's it. That's perfect. That's great. That's easy. It's harder when he's not around. So I'm like, I don't know any different, but that's me.
So I want to move on to your career.
Yeah.
You've had a very, very blessed career. You've been able to work on Baller Alert.
Yeah.
You worked with Smashbox as well, cosmetics. You've even been on Hollywood Reporter. For you being in those settings, what did you learn the most about yourself?